This is the neighborhood I grew up in. So this is in Fort Worth on the TCU side. We walk these sidewalks, dreaming, pretending like we were in the original Twin Peaks. Fire Walk With Me, that kind of stuff. We did talk a lot about Twin Peaks. We had to address it. It was on television. We're like, what's this about? What in the world? Eraserhead. Well, that was at the movie theaters when we went to, there was a movie theater we would go to. It's still around, and it was the Art House movie theater in Dallas. We would go drive over there to see movies. The Inwood. They called it the Inwood. This one right here. Yeah, there are characters right there. I wish I was a movie star. Let's try it. Google would be responsible. I wonder if it works if you kick it. Kick it.
That's my daughter.
That's amazing. This one I like.
Yeah.
Right here. Dude, which jazz artist?
That's Muddy Waters.
Okay.
Okay, this guy in here,
Awesome.
John Lewis.
Yeah, it looks familiar. Yeah, that looks very familiar. What did he do?
That's our cat, Rocky. Who is like the father of our lives.
Right.
And that's my son.
Is the cat still alive?
That's my son.
That is right there? Yeah.
Now you're gonna...
Freaking amazing artwork. Now, I saw it before. This is an antique house, so it's from the 20s. And he is a social, well, kind of a social worker. He had studied the science of sociology and stuff like that, like pretty much like a professor. His daughter is a famous professor coming out of Georgia, and the son lived in Brooklyn. But his paintings are exceptionally, he's exceptionally gifted. People can't paint that well. I don't know what he's using. I didn't ask about oil and all that jazz. It didn't really matter. But I said, man, you got to release this stuff. He said, well, I just, blah, blah, blah. But he's got tons of it on the walls and everything. I'm like, this is like a studio. But he's like, yeah, come here and I'll show you some of it. And so it's like jazz art. It's like pop art. It's got great color. He thinks it's just, to him, he thinks it's just like hobby stuff. But that's beyond, people don't realize an asset of art. Every time you make a painting, it's an asset. And every time you draw, even if it's modern art, I said, look, I only do modern art because I do abstract. But I was like, I'll check it out. And then I mentioned two places. I mentioned Hip Pocket Theater because they show some. Then I mentioned the Rose Marine Theater next door. They have a gallery. He had heard of it. So I'm like, well, what are you doing? Get this out there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a business card, or I'm going to get a card, basically like a note card. And I'm going to leave it in his door. It's going to have an address it's like an online gallery. I found them. I posted some of my abstract paintings because I used to use a computer and do abstract paintings with a computer because I thought paint was actually too messy. So I would actually draw on this computer, and then it was, I cannot think of the name right now. And all you do is take a photo of your art and it circulates on there like a gallery. And I think the name of it is, it's got a weird name. But it's popular. It's very popular for artists, especially fine artists, which is what he really is. But he studied like psychology and things like that, so he's been a professor. But he listened to jazz music, and what I noticed was his mailbox was the type that you slid the mail in and it goes into the house. So I just basically said, that's where the mail goes? He's like, yeah, it just goes right. He's like, come here, I'll show you some of this stuff. And he's like showing me all this artwork. And his daughter is a famous composer that goes to Emerald or something. I couldn't really understand it. A lot of artists, sometimes they'll jumble words. But it's in Georgia. I understood that. Georgia. And then his son is in Brooklyn. He has a photo, or not a photo, it's a painting. It looked like a photo, but it was a painting and he's in Brooklyn, and I don't know where. Oh, he went. Now, he mentioned that his daughter, who's a musician, was supposed to go or be a professor at the University of Chicago, which is one of the places I was going to try to get into at one time. It was one of the grad school places I looked at was the University of Chicago, because they do a lot of art there. But I don't remember where he said his son went to. But I know he said he ended up in Brooklyn. So I said, yeah, I lived in Brooklyn. And I didn't talk about the Waverly Place and making the police report, you know, the Waverly Place in Brooklyn whenever they got my wallet. But anyway, I don't know. It's called Deviant Art. That's what it's called, Deviant Art. You can post your art on there anytime. You just take a photo of your painting, and boom, it circulates like a gallery. People get to see it. It's just sad. You know, some people hide it in their homes. They're like, it's just a family thing. That's fine. But when it's that good and it's that pop arty, do something. I found it, deviantart.com. So they got everything from the surreal to probably pop art, everything you can think of, just floating around on that. Now, I don't know if there's prices. I'll have to go back and look. But my art is actually on there. You got to do like a username and a password to get in, and then it pulls up all your art. I did like 4 or 5. Kind of Dennis Hopper style, more like Frank Stella or Pollock, but with lots of color. Like with Dennis Hopper, used those bright colors. You ever seen Dennis Hopper's paintings? They're like amazing. But Deviant Art is one of them. I might give him that address. And if it posts, then he has a username, and then you can even use your artist name if you want to change. Like Basquiat had, you know, different names and stuff like that. Like not all artists have like the same name that they use in real life and everything. But I think I used a username. I don't know for sure if I used my real name on it, because it asks you to use a username. That way, you know, if something really goes crazy, you're just a hidden artist online, you know. And I said, he goes, you're not going to put this on a big show or anything. I said, no. I said, you know, CNN's going to be at your door with this art special, you know. 9084 120. Just like Apostle Paul. All right. These stray cats, I worry about them. I think about stray cats. Look at this. This is like a 3-ton vehicle. That's it for the cat. I want to tell a story. I hate telling it, but I hit a cat back when I first met Linda. I was doing, I believe, Grubhub. Maybe it was Favor. Yeah, I think it was Favor. There's another one way over there. He ran up under the car from the side, and I didn't see where he went after that. He wasn't stuck to the car or anything like that. They can sometimes be struck, or they'll hit the top of it and sometimes survive it. They're pretty see where they are. They can break a rib and stuff. Sometimes I put them down for that. I don't think they should always. It's hard to judge it. Kitty, Miss Kitty, when I was younger, Princess, she was hit by a car, and they did end up putting her down because she didn't heal up quick enough. And it was like tire marks on her skin. Or it was tire marks on the fur. It was a Persian Siamese. Very sad situation. She was put down, I think I got her at 5, and she was put down when I was 13 or 12. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like 7 years. It's not that old for a cat. Cats can make it 18 years, maybe sometimes 20, and they're very brittle. That age they wouldn't make it, but they can be limber. Poor cats. 95.9, 1.5. The grill. I don't know how they got away with that one. It's just opened a few months ago. It's amazing. It's a brand new hotel. Possible filming location. I looked fireplace right there. Full on. They went full on this one. This is Fort Worth, dude. Mm-hmm. Oops, sorry about that. Fort Worth is freaking rocking it, man. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, is it? Bunch of it. Nothing but paintings in there, very artworky. Ooh. All right, next one, 1019-9, 4.2. There's the Noir Alley to a certain degree. There's Salsa Limon. This night has opened my eyes, if not every night. And a river colorful of lead. Lead is such a horrible thing because it creates learning disabilities. Not the color of lead, but lead itself. Dad dealt with lead. Oh, there they are. Crazy cats landing on my face. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they spotted one another. There's communication. My goodness gracious. Nope, not going that way. All right, and hopefully he's not either. I'm gonna spin around this way. I can get him on my back camera this way. Gotta be careful about cats. They're real smart. See if we can see him. Yeah, he's moving. You can see those lights. This is what it is. He's like, I'm going away. Not close by here, kitty. Yeah, blinking lights secretly. I started doing a whole thing when I first started my uploads, capturing blinking lights. Signifier of crime. Really? Yeah, the electricity knows. Spiritus Mundi. That's what I go by. It's an otherworldly thing. You can see it right here. See how it's blinking? That's your signifier. Really, it's that light needs to be changed. But I don't know. I just think it's kind of like some of my stuff is just kind of unexplainable. Not that I'm looking for that. I'm actually looking for an apartment number that was never given. I say. These look nice though. These are newer ones with covered parking. It's a lot too. Talking like 2 chicken piccatas or tons of pizza, everything. And it took them at least probably a good 35 minutes just to probably almost make it all. It just depends on, you know, what was going on before the house, and also what was going on when it was delivered. I mean, when it was ordered. And we've got like nothing, you know, no response, no apartment number, blah blah blah. It's all done on an online service known as Slice, similar to Uber but not completely. So I don't know. Maybe someone waving or hey, over here. Over here, hello. My goodness gracious. All right. If I knew if I was psychic, I would, you know, sometimes they're standing like, you know, sometimes, and they got the dog and they're like, oh yeah, hey. Yeah, I placed the $100+ order. All right. They do work tightly on that group on Slice that I'm talking about. So we were able to get through. It's a close one. We're talking about over $100. So, woo. But listen, they want it. It's warm. So, but they don't always do that. And hey, you know, what do? You just hope for the best. I say, listen, on roadie stuff, it's like longer. It's way longer. Yeah, it's this one right here. Roadie, you got to call this guy in a third world country. Nah, I don't know if it's that bad with roadie. Roadie's coming out of Georgia. But listen, roadie, and like they need to investigate, like, because some of those workers, it wouldn't be good. Now, maybe for a couple of them, and listen, they do admirable work, roadie. They'll deliver, you know, medicine for hospice patients, but they're only going to pay the person like $30. They're out of Georgia. I don't know. Maybe they'll change. I don't know. We're going to go ahead and get this. Thank goodness. Cincinnati. Yeah, man. Yeah. I don't know about that kind of violation there. You can work on the car as long as you got the garage. It's kind of military town. This guy, he comes from Cincinnati. He orders $115 or more, a pizza, pasta with piccata stuff, everything. Doesn't even leave it. Well, he didn't know it. I think he had probably maybe placed that order as he just got here. This is amazing. Boxes and everything. It looks pretty happy. You know that feeling you get, especially when you're on your own. When I moved to Long Beach, California at the age of 27 in 2000, December. And I knew at that point, this is where my acting career is going to begin. Not the study. Even though I still study. I still study acting. But I was thinking, I am very close to Hollywood. I was in Long Beach, California. Right down the road from Santa Ana, where a guy named Drake Dormus was about to go to AFI and make a masterpiece, which I think Like Crazy is, with Anton Yelchin. He made that. He worked with Danny DeVito, all kinds of people. I met him in community theater out in Santa Ana later on. He was a director at the age of 17 years old. It was, you know, I was 27, so I was about 10 years older. But it took a while to get there because I looked at the trade papers like crazy. I was like a Jack Lemmon, mailing out headshots. I thought about maybe being a mime in Santa Monica to make extra money, which I should have done that, although those guys get stuck doing that, especially off of Santa Monica and Venice Beach. There was mimes out there. I saw them when I would go to the mall and stuff. they had these massage chairs. I would run 6 miles a day sometimes. Not always, but usually 5 to 6 times a week. I had a 24-hour fitness membership where I would shower. I lived at the Paradise Gardens on North Atlantic. Eventually found an acting coach named Diane Salinger, who still is quite popular in the Comic-Con scene. She was Simone in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. She was a waitress. The one that's, when Pee-wee goes, I lost my wallet. She goes, well, you come in here, and you know, she's doing all this. She studied with Stella Adler. She's a method actress. Anyway, that was Diane Salinger. She had already done that. Worked with William Hurt, Woody Allen, Clint Eastwood, all those people. She was set up right there in Mulholland Drive while they were making Mulholland Drive. David Lynch was making Mulholland Drive when I was there. It was like a dream. It was like a theme park a little bit. It was being built, you know. Hollywood has become this like theme park. It's unreal. It's like not real. People say it's very easy to live in Hollywood in like a dream state and just keep on dreaming. I got a friend out there. He worked a little bit on terriers and stuff, and he worked on Documentary Now, and he worked with Bill Hader and all those guys. He's been there 5 years. He's in the photography business. Does like digital photography, content creator kind of thing almost. He does really good stuff on Vimeo, like very, very good. He's a very good filmmaker, James Gilbert. Yeah, he's on Internet Movie Database. I worked with him a lot in Westland. He was a great little actor. Well, back in Westland days, he did Biloxi Blues. I think he was a full-on lead in that. I think he was involved in The Elephant Man. He did work in Dallas. Big-time actor. Still freaking looking for it, you know. Still looking for it. Some stay remote, indie, and they stay away from it, and they create their own kind of studio thing. Backstage allows actors to communicate in any part of the United States of America or Europe. Backstage is it's a universal way to find other actors, other directors, other writers, and get together and say, hey, we're going to work on this project, paid or unpaid, you know, and they can work together. It's like a little Facebook thing. It's growing and it's becoming developed. I've done commercials off of it. I did an oven commercial. It was a camping oven. It was like it's more like an open flame stove, more like kind of thing. I don't even remember what it was. It was like you put wood in it and it burns a certain way and you can cook off of it. It's for camping. Did that, you know. I there's so much like little stuff. And then I posted a bunch of stuff for plays and things like that, for writing plays. But it's tough to stay on because you got to keep your credit card active. You want to at least keep your credit card active on Internet Movie Database. So then when people go and they see your work, they can go to Internet Movie Database and they can connect the two and go, okay, this is what the person really has done. This is where the person is at now. And there may be like big time actors that are looking to hook up with these little small guys and, you know, Saving Private Ryan kind of thing, you know. One guy, FUBAR, effed up beyond all recognition, you know, but maybe not, you know. All I say to that is, look, I washed for supper. All right, another night of delivery. Thinking about Robert Downey Jr. walking into someone's house, laying down. The court went, let's stop. All right, we're going, he lays down in other houses though, but they usually invite him. We're going to head back, see Kitty and Linda. Very noir. I would say very noir.